thank you very much. Let me start where I was interrupted from. I was saying the year 2015 marks 60 years of a historic moment in our history when South Africans from all walks of life adopted the Freedom Charter in 1955 in Cape Town, Soweto. They declared, amongst other things, that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, black and white, and that no government can justly claim authority unless it is based on the will of all the people. That was a powerful, visionary, and reconciliatory statement which set the tone for the non-racial democracy we have established. This week, we also mark 25 years since the release of President Nelson Mandela from prison, and since the unbanning of liberation movements. The release of Madiba marked a giant leap in the long walk to freedom for the people of South Africa as a whole, and dealt a fatal blow to apartheid colonialism. We continue to be inspired by Madiba and draw lessons from his legacy as we build our country. Compatriots, the year 2015 is the year of the Freedom Charter and unity in action to advance economic freedom. It is the year of going the extra mile in building a united, democratic, non-racial, non-sexist, and prosperous South Africa. It is also the year of rededicating ourselves to eradicate racism and all related intolerances in our country. It is also the year of investing more in our future by educating our children and the youth about the rich heritage of this country. We already inculcating a new national identity through promoting national symbols such as flags, the national anthem, and the preamble of the Constitution in every school. From this year, schools must also practice the African Union anthem in preparation for the celebration of Africa Month in May, as we implement the African Union decision in this regard. Honorable members, distinguished guests, our youth is our future, and their success fills us with immense pride. I would like you to join me in congratulating my special guest, our ace Olympic swimmer, Chad Leclos. Chad received swimming's highest honor in December after he was crowned the world's best swimmer for 2014. by the International Swimming Federation, amongst many other outstanding achievements. I'm also hosting 3 special girls from Moletsane High School in Soweto. They are Offense Mahasha, Sengiwe Moletsane, and Tisetso Mashiloane. Offense and Sengiwe attended the last G20 summit in Australia and performed exceptionally well, making us truly proud. And I must tell you that in the tea I had with them yesterday, one of them said, if you decide that you want to be something, you must work hard and you must put your eyes on it. And she said she wants to become the president of South Africa. There she is, there she is. Allow me, Madam Speaker and Chairperson of the NCOP, to congratulate in absentia another star performer who has brought glory to our country, Miss World, Miss Ronelle Strauss. I would also like to introduce another special guest, the country's sports star of the year and Banyana Banyana striker, Miss Portia Modise. Congratulations, Portia. Honorable members, distinguished guests, I would like to thank all who took their time to contribute to SONA 2015. In terms of the inputs, our people are concerned about, amongst others, crime, roads, access to education, youth internship schemes, water, electricity, and support for small businesses. Contributions requiring feedback are being referred to government departments for action. These contributions, as you know, emerged because I asked the country to make suggestions about what the president must say. These are the contributions which came as a response to that request. Honorable members and honorable guests, we meet yet again during a difficult economic climate. This week, the IMF revised down to 3.5% the GDP growth forecast for global economic growth in 2015. Our ambition of achieving a growth target of 5% by 2019 is at risk because of the slow global growth as well as domestic constraints in energy, skills, transport and logistics, amongst others. However, the situation is more promising on the jobs front. 2 days ago, Stats South Africa released the employment figures for the last quarter of 2014. The report shows that there are now 15.3 million people who are employed in South Africa. Jobs grew by 203,000. Our investment in youth employment is also paying off. The employment tax incentive, which was introduced last year, directed mainly at the youth, is progressing very well. R2 billion has been claimed to date by some 29,000 employers who have claimed for at least 270,000 young people. I announced a target of 6 million work opportunities over 5 years last year for the program. We have thus far created more than 850,000 work opportunities. This means that we are poised to meet the annual target of 1 million job opportunities. In addition, our environmental programs, such as working on waste, working for wetlands, working for water, and working for fire, have created more than 30,000 work opportunities and aim to create more than 60,000 during the next financial year. Compatriots, our economy needs a major push forward. We would like to share with you our 9-point plan to ignite growth and create jobs. These are: 1, resolving the energy challenge; 2, revitalizing agriculture and the agro-processing value chain; 3, advancing beneficiation or adding value to our mineral wealth; 4, more effective implementation of a higher impact industrial policy action plan; 5, encouraging private sector investment; 6, moderating workplace conflict; 7, unlocking the potential of SMMEs, cooperatives, township and rural enterprises; 8, state reform of boosting the role of state-owned companies, ICT, infrastructure or broadband rollout, water, sanitation, and transport infrastructure, as well as 9, Operation Pakisa, aimed at growing the ocean economy and other sectors. Compatriots, the country is currently experiencing serious energy constraints, which are an impediment to economic growth and is a major inconvenience to everyone in the country. Overcoming the challenge is uppermost in our program. We are doing everything we can to resolve the energy challenge. Bakwethu uhulumeni wenza konke okusemandleni akhe ukubhekana nesimo sokuncipha kukagesi ezweni. Siyazi ukuthi lesi isikhathi esinzima kodwa sizodlula ngoba sinezindlela eziningi zokusebenza nokubhekana nalenkinga. We have developed a plan which involves both short, medium-term and long-term responses. The short and medium-term plan involves improved maintenance of ESCOM power stations, enhancing the electricity generation capacity, and managing the electricity demand. The long-term plan involves finalizing our long-term energy security master plan. As a priority, we are going to stabilize ESCOM's finances to enable the utility to manage the current period. In this regard, government will honor its commitment to give ESCOM around 23 billion rand in the next fiscal year. The war room established by Cabinet in December is working diligently around the clock with ESCOM to stabilize the electricity supply system and contain the load shedding. During this period, we have to work together to find solutions. We urge all individuals, households, industries, and government departments to save electricity in order to reduce the need for load shedding. The Department of Public Works has been instructed to ensure that all government-owned buildings are energy efficient. Given the high cost of diesel, ESCOM has been directed to switch from diesel to gas as a source of energy for the utilities generators. Households are also being encouraged to switch from electricity to gas for cooking, heating, and other uses. The construction of the 3 new power stations, Kusile, Mutubi, and Ingula, will add 10,000 megawatts of capacity to the national grid. The quest for alternative energy sources is also ongoing. To date, government has procured 4,000 megawatts from independent power producers using renewable sources. The first 3 bid windows of the renewable energy procurement process attracted more than 140 billion rand from private investors. A total of 3,900 megawatts of renewable energy has also been sourced, with 32 projects with a capacity of just over 1,500 megawatts completed and connected to the grid. Eskom itself has completed the construction of the Sere Wind Farm, which is already delivering 100 megawatts to the grid, well ahead of its intended launch in March this year. Government also began procuring in December 2014 of 2,400 megawatts of new coal-fired power generation capacity from independent power producers. The procurement process for 2,200 megawatts of new gas-fired generation will commence in the first quarter of the new financial year. A total of 2,600 megawatts of hydroelectric capacity will be sourced from the SADC region. With regards to the long-term energy master plan, we will pursue gas, petroleum, nuclear, hydropower, and the other sources as part of the energy mix. South Africa is surrounded by gas-rich countries, while we have discovered shale gas deposits in our own Karoo region. The Operation Pakisa Ocean Economy Initiative, launched last year, also promises to unveil more oil and gas resources, which will be a game changer for our country and region. Government is also exploring the procurement of the 9,600 megawatts nuclear build program as approved in the Integrated Resource Plan 2010 to 2030. To date, government has signed intergovernmental agreements and carried out vendor parade workshops in which 5 countries came to present their proposals on nuclear. These include the United States of America, South Korea, Russia, France, and China. All these countries will be engaged in a fair, transparent, and competitive procurement process to select a strategic partner or partners to undertake the nuclear build program. Our target is to connect the first unit to the grid by 2023, just in time for Eskom to retire part of its aging power plants. With regards to hydropower, the Grand Inga hydroelectrical project partnership with Democratic Republic of Congo will generate over 48,000 megawatts of clean hydroelectricity. South Africa will have access to over 15,000 megawatts. For sustainability, government will establish strategic partnerships for skills development with the countries that will partner us in the energy build program, while also generating skills locally. Compatriots, there are still 3.4 million households in the country without electricity. In the June 2014 SONA, I announced that infrastructure support will be given to specific municipalities in the country. Funding has been provided for electrification to the following municipalities in the 2015 to 16 financial year. Amatole District Municipality, Umzenyati District Municipality, Alfred Nzo District Municipality, Lukanji Municipality, and OR Tambo District Municipality. Fellow South Africans, while tackling the energy challenges in our country, we also need to fight copper cable and metal theft. Government will introduce tougher measures to deal with this serious crime. Compatriots, during this year of the 60th anniversary of the Freedom Charter, land has become one of the most critical factors in achieving redress for the wrongs of the past. Last year, we reopened the second window of opportunity for the lodging of land claims. More than 36,000 land claims have been lodged nationally, and the cutoff date is 2019. We are also exploring the 50-50 policy framework, which proposes relative rights for people who live and work on farms. 50 farming enterprises will be identified as pilot projects. In terms of our new proposed laws, a ceiling of land ownership will be set at a maximum of 12,000 hectares. Cheers. Foreign nationals will not be allowed to own land in South Africa. But will be eligible for long-term lease. In this regard, the Regulation of Land Holdings Bill will be submitted to Parliament this year. Through the Land Reform Program, more than 90,000 hectares of land have been allocated to smallholder farmers, farm dwellers, and labor tenants. The process of establishing the Office of the Valuer General is underway, which is established in terms of the Property Valuation Act. Once implemented, the law will stop the reliance on the willing buyer, willing seller method. In respect of land acquisition by the state. Compatriots, agriculture is a catalyst for growth and food security. We are working with the private sector to develop an agriculture policy action plan which will bring 1 million hectares of utilized land into full production over the next 3 years. Among key interventions this year, we will promote the establishment of agri-parks or cooperatives and clusters in each of the 27 poorest district municipalities to transform rural economies. An initial funding of 2 billion rand has been made available for the April Park initiative. We will further enhance our agro-processing exports, which have been growing rapidly, especially to new markets in Africa and China. For an example, we have concluded agricultural trade protocols for the export of South African maize and apples to China. The export of apples alone is projected to generate 500 million rand in foreign exchange over 3 years. A good story to tell in agriculture. Is the success of some of our emerging farmers and smallholders. In the Vemba district municipality in Musina, the Limpopo government has supported the Nwanedi cluster comprising 300 farmers growing vegetables on just over 1,300 hectares for commercial purposes. The cluster has already created more than 2,500 jobs, as vegetable farming is highly labor intensive. We are happy to have in our midst today the winner of the 2014 Agricultural Top Female Entrepreneur Award, Ms. Nokwanele Mzamo from Kerwood in the Eastern Cape. Madam Speaker and Madam Chairperson, our interventions to support the manufacturing sector are bearing fruit. Our automotive investment scheme has unlocked private sector investment of 24.5 billion rand and generated exports of automotives and components of 103 billion rand in 2013. We have built a world-class auto sector on the African continent, exporting to over 152 countries. The leather and footwear sector has also grown to 60 million pairs of shoes, and exports grew by 18% with significant benefit to the balance of trade. The United Nations Conference on Trade and Development shows that South Africa doubled its foreign direct investment inflows to 88 billion rand in 2013, while 2014 projections are also positive. The manufacturing sector was hit hard by the global financial crisis. Government committed more than 2.8 billion rand to companies in the sector through the Manufacturing Competitiveness Enhancement Program. We are very pleased with the response of our manufacturers, who committed over 12.4 billion rand in private sector investment. It is a very good story to tell indeed. In addition to advance transformation, we have introduced the program to find and develop black industrialists over 3 years. Compatriots, given such success in manufacturing, we are poised to make progress in our quest to ignite growth. Madam Speaker and Madam Chairperson, to attract foreign skills for our growing economy, we'll invite dialogue with various stakeholders on the migration policy. We'll also prioritize the review of visa regulations to strike a balance between national security and growth in tourism. Compatriots and friends, in the June 2014 SONA, I spoke about the need to stabilize the mining sector and to promote a stable labor environment. We had been concerned then about the spate of long and sometimes violent strikes. The implementation of a number of programs under the Framework Agreement for a Sustainable Mining Industry has caused relative stability and optimism in the mining sector, which is the backbone of our economy. Mine crime combating forums have been established in the Northwest, Limpopo, Free State, Mpumalanga, and Gauteng provinces. Government will implement the agreements reached with business and labor, including the consideration of a national minimum wage. We had also made a commitment in last year's SONA to revitalize distressed mining towns, and a lot of progress has been made. A total of 2.1 billion rand has been ring-fenced for this purpose, with 290 million rand approved for informal settlement upgrading in Mpumalanga, Northwest, Gauteng, Northern Cape, Limpopo, and the Free State. $133 informal settlements are being assessed or prepared for upgrading through the National Upgrading Support Program. 32 settlements are being upgraded and 87 housing projects are being implemented across the prioritized mining towns. Importantly, government, the mining sector, and the Banking Association of South Africa signed a social contract for the development of sustainable human settlements. Government also continues to provide social development support within mining communities. Other support includes technical expertise with regards to integrated development plans and the development of special economic zones. The mining towns are also being assisted with implementing the back to basics municipal service delivery strategy. Indeed, a lot is being done to build our mining towns. Government is also reviewing the compliance of mining companies with the 2014 mining charter targets. I referred the Mineral and Petroleum Resources Development Act back to Parliament to enable the correction of some constitutional shortcomings and other issues. Compatriots, responding to business requests, government has synchronized environmental impact assessment, water and mining rights applications, and has set a maximum of 300 days for all of these authorizations to be issued. In addition, we will also establish a one-stop interdepartmental clearinghouse to attend to investor compliance, to investor complaints and problems. Fellow South Africans, the year 2015 will see further improvements in labor legislation to further promote worker rights. The Labor Department will review the sectorial determinations of agriculture, forestry, private security, wholesale, and retail sectors. We expect the finalization of the Employment Services Act of 2014, which formally establishes a public employment service. The legislation also formally regulates the practices of private employment agencies and temporarily employment services to prevent the abuse of unsuspecting work seekers. In addition, the Unemployment Insurance Act of 2001 will be amended to provide benefits to beneficiaries and include public servants in the application of the Act. Honorable members and honorable guests, small business is big business. Government will set aside 30% of appropriate categories of state procurement for purchasing from SMMEs, cooperatives, as well as township and rural enterprises. We'll also continue to promote opportunities for the youth. The National Youth Development Agency has disbursed 25 million rand to 765 youth-owned micro enterprises in the last financial year nationally. The agency has also partnered with the IDC and the Small Enterprise Finance Agency in a three-way partnership that has resulted in a 2.7 billion rand fund for young people. Compatriots, the year 2015 will mark the beginning of the first phase of broadband rollout. Government will connect offices in 8 district municipalities. These are Dr. Kenneth Kaunda in Northwest, Gerrit Sibande in Mpumalanga, O.R. Tambo in the Eastern Cape, Pixley Kaseme in the Northern Cape, Thabo Mfusanyana in the Free State, Umgungundlovu and Umzinyati in KwaZulu-Natal, and Vembe in Limpopo. Government has also decided to designate Telkom as the lead agency to assist with broadband rollout. As part of the further igniting growth through supporting state-owned companies, processes are underway to implement a 90-day turnaround strategy aimed at stabilizing the finances of South African Airways. Accordingly, some of the loss-making international routes will be phased out. But we will do this in a manner that does not impact negatively on travel, trade, and tourism between South Africa and the world. Compatriots, the National Infrastructure Development Program continues to be a key job driver and catalyst for economic growth. Water is a critical resource for economic growth and a better life. Several projects aimed at providing water for industrial and household use are in the implementation or planning phases around the country. Major projects include Umzimvubu Water Project in the Eastern Cape, Jozini Dam in Umkhanyagude in KwaZulu-Natal, and projects in Bushbuck Ridge in Mpumalanga, and phase 1 of the Mokolo Crocodile Water augmentation in Limpopo. Progress is being made to improve the water supply to areas that had been affected by shortages, such as Makana District Municipality in the Eastern Cape, Ngaka Modiri Mulema District Municipality in Northwest, and Kiani in Limpopo, where we celebrate the delivery of water to 55 villages in October last year. Let me, Honorable Speaker and Chairperson of the NCOP, urge all in the country to conserve water. Every drop counts. The country loses even billion rand a year to water. The country loses 7 billion rand a year to water losses. To mitigate this challenge, government through the Department of Water and Sanitation will train 15,000 artisans or plumbers who will fix leaking taps in their local communities. We are happy to have as our special guest the winner of the Women in Water Conservation Awards, Miss Mapule Pokombe from Mahikeng in Northwest. She helped me to explain why Mafikeng is now called Mahikeng. I now know. The infrastructure program continues to expand transport networks and to improve roads, which augurs well for economic growth. The Department of Transport will spend about 9 billion rand on the provincial roads maintenance grant or the Sehamba Sonke program, and 11 billion rand on upgrading and maintaining roads which are not tolled. Over 6 billion rand will be spent in 13 cities on planning, building and operating integrated public transport networks during this financial year. We will also continue to improve the infrastructure in schools and higher education institutions to create a conducive environment for learning and teaching. Through the Accelerated School Infrastructure Delivery Initiative, which is part of the National Infrastructure Plan, 92 new schools have been completed to date and 108 are under construction. Siyakuba. About 342 schools have received water for the first time. 351 schools have received decent sanitation, while 288 have been connected to electricity. Siyakuba. Siyasebenza. We are a nation at work. Dabukela bangekho abangasizwa. Yes. Government has identified 16 sites for the construction of 12 new technical and vocational education and training college campuses and refurbishment of 2 existing campuses. Work is also continuing to establish the 3 brand new universities, Solplaki in the Northern Cape, the University of Mpumalanga, and the Sefaku Makhatu Allied and Health Sciences University. Honorable members, we continue to deliver houses to our people. By 30 September 2014, a total number of more than 50,000 houses were delivered in the subsidy and affordable housing segments. Government will also provide 5,000 housing opportunities for military veterans government, the veteran now. Government will also work to eradicate the backlog of title deeds for pre- and post-1994 housing stock. Madam Speaker and Madam Chairperson, we have in the past year introduced some innovative programs to implement the National Development Plan. Last year we launched Operation Pakisa, a results-driven laboratory approach to planning and execution of programs. Operation Pakisa on the ocean economy is aimed at unlocking opportunities in the shipping, fisheries, aquaculture, mining, oil and gas, biotechnology, and tourism sectors. We have committed 9.2 billion rand investment in gas and oil exploration in the port of Saldanha as part of the Operation Pakisa initiative. Operation Pakisa on scaling up the Ideal Clinic initiative is aimed at promoting efficiency, effectiveness, and professionalism in clinics. We will now explore Operation Pakisa in the mining sector. I have instructed government to partner with the mining sector to develop win-win solutions to beneficiate our mineral resources. Patriots and friends, over the past 5 years, government has scored significant gains in healthcare. This year, we are going to launch a massive program to turn the tide against tuberculosis, TB, with a special focus on 3 communities: offenders at correctional services, facilities, mine workers, and communities in mining towns. In fighting the scourge of HIV and AIDS, the state-owned pharmaceutical company, Ketlapela, ngifundisa isizulu, has been established and will participate in the supply of antiretrovirals to the Department of Health. Madam Speaker and Madam Chairperson, we have to continue working harder together to fight crime and to create safer communities. We are making progress in fighting crime against women and children. The SAPS Family Violence, Child Protection and Sexual Offences Investigation Unit has secured 659 life sentences against perpetrators of crimes against women and children. We are democratic. We are a democratic state and recognize the community's right to protest. We, however, appeal that these protests should be within the ambit of the law and must be peaceful as stated in the Constitution. The police successfully brought under control 13,575 recorded public order incidents, comprising 1,907 unrest-related and 11,668 peaceful incidents. The fight against corruption continues to be taken forward by the Anti-Corruption Interministerial Committee. Government has in place 7 anti-corruption institutions and 17 pieces of legislation which are intended to combat corruption. This demonstrates a concerted effort by government to break the back of this scourge in the country. In the 2013 to 2014 financial year, 52 persons were convicted in cases involving more than 5 million rand. 31 public servants were convicted in the first quarter of 2014 to 2015, and freezing orders to the value of 430 million rand were obtained. To prevent corruption and promote ethical governance, in December, I signed into law the Public Administration and Management Act, which, amongst others, prohibits public servants from doing business with the state. Compatriots, Cabinet has adopted vigorous and integrated interventions to combat the vicious rhino poaching in the country. The interventions include continuous joint operations with key neighboring countries, improved intelligence gathering, as well as enhancing protection in parks and provincial services where rhino are present. Government has also made substantial progress in establishing a border management agency to manage all ports of entry and improve security. To further improve access to identity documents, citizens will from this year be able to apply for the new smart ID card at their local bank due to partnership between the Department of Home Affairs and some banks in the country. Madam Speaker and Madam Chairperson, building a caring, effective, and responsive state will continue to be prioritized. In the 2014 SONA, I said we would continue to advance and improve the lives of people with disabilities. In December last year, Cabinet released the draft National Disability Rights Policy for public comment. Compatriots, local government is everybody's business. We have to make it work. We have launched the Back to Basics program to promote good governance and effective administration through cutting wastage, spending public funds prudently, hiring competent staff, and ensure transparency and accountability in municipalities. The Integrated Urban Development Framework announced in the SONA last June has been approved by Cabinet. Fellow South Africans, to contribute to building a better Africa, South Africa continued to support peace and security and regional economic integration in the continent. A number of key outcomes have resulted. The African capacity for immediate response to crisis, ASRIC, of which South Africa is a contributing and founding member, has been operationalized. The South African National Defence Force and SA Police Service continued to participate diligently in the conflict prevention and peacekeeping in the continent. South Africa also continued to support conflict resolution initiatives in Lesotho, Sri Lanka, and South Sudan, led by the Deputy President. Economic cooperation with our BRICS partners was strengthened when the first two intergovernmental agreements were concluded on the occasion of the 6th BRICS Summit. This was the government on the new development bank and the treaty establishing a contingent reserve arrangement. Madam Speaker and Madam Chairperson, countries of the developed North remain important strategic partners for South Africa, through which the country is able to advance its national and foreign policy. We have a valuable partnership with the European Union in, amongst others, the Infrastructure Investment Program for South Africa, valued at approximately 1.5 billion rand. The renewal of the African Growth and Opportunity Act beyond September 2015 and a pledge to support African-led peace initiatives in the continent are among the significant outcomes of the United States Africa Leadership Summit held in the US last year. Compatriots, at a multilateral level, 2015 marks the 70th anniversary of the United Nations, which brings into sharp focus the need to transform the UN Security Council and the other international institutions. Compatriots, national liberation heroes Moses Kotane and J.B. Marks will be buried in South Africa in March. These will be reburials. As you know, they were buried in Russia, and they're coming back home. We thank the government and people of the Russia Federation for looking after the remains of our heroes with dignity for so many years. In sports, Team South Africa will participate in all Africa Games in Congo, Brazzaville in 2015. The Springboks will participate in the IRB World Cup that takes place in England in September 2015. The Proteas are in Australia and New Zealand to participate in the International Cricket Council Cricket World Cup. All South Africans must, as usual, rally behind the national teams. We must also appreciate our Bafana Bafana. I think you'll agree with me that this time around they qualified with flying colors. They were in the group which is called the group of death. But even there, most of the games they scored first. We must give them support. Absolutely. They made us proud. Honorable members, we will continue to promote a healthy lifestyle and to urge citizens to refrain from smoking and the abuse of alcohol and drugs. In this regard, on the 10th of May, we will mark the move for Health Day, an international event promoted by the World Health Organization. The day also coincides with the anniversary of the inauguration of President Mandela. Compatriots, fellow South Africans, A lot has been achieved in the past year. We believe that our 9-point economic intervention plan on the economy will consolidate the achievements and ignite much needed growth. During this year of the Freedom Charter and Unity in Action to advance economic freedom, we rededicate ourselves to unity and hard work to ensure continuous success in our beautiful country. Together, we move South Africa forward. I thank you.